speaker. We want to keep it short, spicy, and to the point because timing is everything. So I'm going to invite Kenneth Benjamin, who is the chairman of the Bustamante Children's Hospital, to bring you a few words.
Good evening, all, especially Shaggy, the man of the day. You know, Bustamante Children's Hospital is a very difficult kind of hospital. It's the only children's hospital in Jamaica, and for some reason, the population of Jamaican children is expanding quicker than Bustamante. And, the government obviously doesn't have enough resources to be able to look at Bustamante in isolation. What little they have to share. So we're very, very grateful to people like Shaggy, who, out of no good reason other than one day he was here and he saw the condition and the need at Bustamante. And since 2009, he's been having concerts and donating very generously to the hospital. Shaggy, for that, you're going to be blessed, and we thank you all from Bustamante and obviously from the population of Jamaica who use this institution. Um, Tempers flare, when mothers come here with a sick child. As far as they're concerned, that's the only child in the world that matters at the time. And up to last night, we had an incident where, a mother roughed up a doctor. And it became an issue because the staff were very worried about their own safety. And the child must have had a temperature, but the doctor in her assessment decided, it wasn't as acute as some other children who were there. And just because of that, tempers flared and poor doctor had to run. We're going to have a problem going forward because the nurses have been maltreated and so have the doctors, due to no fault of theirs, due to incapacity at the hospital, the lack of beds, the lack of space. And Shaggy, this is so timely because I know you had decided that what we needed at the time when you had the concert almost 2 years ago, that ICUs were very needed. Well, since then, as you can see, what we really need is a lot more beds. I mean, I've been here in the evenings and at nights, and there are mothers waiting outside, not even space to sit. Forget about, having a little comfortable area where the parents can relax while the children are in their beds. So, since 2009, the Shaggy Makes a Foundation has been partnering with the hospital by fulfilling certain critical needs, such as procuring equipment for the hospital. In 2018, when the team visited for additional ICU bed capacity became known, and as such, in consultation with the ICU team, they decided to build capacity in this area. We now find that we need more bed capacity, and as such, the Bustamante Hospital of Children continues to collaborate with other partners, including yourself, and the other partners being WICON, which is part of the ICT group, Shaggy Foundation, and the NHF. And I think we have enough money now with your money coming in that we can probably accomplish a 3-story ward that can have the capacity of about 150 additional beds. We might have some left over to furnish not just the ward space, but the bed space. And we're hoping to have some money also available for expanding the ICUs, which is also a big concern. So the board and management of Bustamante Hospital with Children and staff, the South Regional Health Authority by extension, and the Ministry of Health thanks you and your foundation and your friends for this valuable support and continued partnership. for improving the lives of our children. And Shaggy, I know you're going to keep doing this for Bustamante, and we're hoping that next year we can have another big concert, and it'll be far more successful. And then by then, I think there'll be far more children, and we'll need more bed capacity. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming, and God bless.
All right. Keeping it short. Oops. Oh, wow. We're going to invite, for Shaggy and Friends to happen, it's just not just us, the friends who slave and do the work and come up with the concepts. It is also the sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to get that little push start that we get. Once we sit down and meet as a group and Shaggy gives us the command, waves the ribbon, $100 million. That's the target, sets a target for us. We all meet in his living room and we all come up with who else we can bring on board to help. So from one of the sponsors who's been with us from day one, who has done amazing stuff in their capacity and brand to generate even more income to add to what we make at the concert. We couldn't do without Wisinka Group. So I invite Mr. William Mafood, the chairman of that group, on behalf of our sponsors.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Just want to say hello to everybody. Thank you very much, Rebecca and Shaggy, for including me in the program. I didn't realize that I was going to be required to talk. It is always, always a pleasure to be here. And just this afternoon, walking through the front entrance, I realized that, we came here originally for a reason. And the reason is the children. No matter what happens, whatever was said or whatever is done, that is the reason. And it is the children of Jamaica that have benefited from the efforts and the energies of all of us in a collective way. So I just want to say that, the decision to be on board and to continue to be on board is always, always there. And I know I speak for all the sponsors. You have our utmost admiration, Shaggy and Rebecca and the team, for the work you have done, and we continue to support you no matter what. Thank you.
Okay, now we're always here for the children. And I can tell you, I was called one night into the living room of Shaggy, that's where we all hang out. And he said, when we finish talking, I dare you to care. And that is how Shaggy and Friends started. He dared us to care along with him. He came here doing his regular Christmas treat, which he always does before the foundation. And he saw the need, and the need was close, and the need touched him, and so did it to Rebecca. So when we decided what more needs to be done, he pulled us from all different directions. I was pulled for hospitality and to make sure that everyone looks good, feels good. Sharon was pulled backstage, get the artists going. With Synco, BNS, Flow, Digicel. It was one of the concerts that the mandate was put that forget your competitive strengths. We want you to dare you to care and make a difference for the children of Jamaica. So it didn't matter. It wasn't a Flow event and not a Digicel. It was both. It was Water. It was Red Stripe. It was Jerry and Nephew. It was everyone who we dared to care stepped on. Sometimes we didn't call people and they called us. And believe you may have worked on several events that really happens. They dared to care in action, in dollars, in support. We worked through the night because it was always in the Christmas time. Some of us, when Shaggy and Friends come around, we closed our businesses. I used to have to lock down from December 15 to commit that time for Shaggy and Friends because you couldn't work and do Shaggy and Friends. It was a mammoth event and it took lots of planning. We couldn't have done that. We couldn't have even had the idea of the magnitude of what his idea was. And ladies and gentlemen, to tell you and share with you this evening, I see Mr. Noel from BNS. Can I invite you to join us in the front? Yes. It's so wonderful to have you. I was just going over how important it was that when we called on people like BNS, water, that they delivered. Full stop. I want to just pause, Shaggy, a minute. I know I'm brushing on you. I don't know if you have anything you want to just quickly add with me on why Shaggy and Friends.
Sorry, putting me on the spot, but when you think about the development of the Bustamante Hospital over the last decade, I'll say, Shaggy and Friends has transformed this hospital. And it's not just about what you have given back and what you try to do each year. It's about saving lives and improving outcomes for children in Jamaica. So Scotia has always been proud to be associated with this initiative. There are lots of things we do in Jamaica and across the Caribbean, but this is one where you speak to doctors, you speak to nurses, and you walk through and you tour. You see the difference year by year. So Shaggy, as always, big up for what you have done. I mean, you have transformed this hospital. We support you fully, and we will continue to support in any way we can your initiatives to move the hospital forward. Thank you all. No, well, absolutely, and proud to be so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. David Noel, CEO of Bank of Nova Scotia. And we're not giving Scotia a ad because I said it's non-competitive. But from day one, Scotia has been the official bank of Shaggy and Friends Foundation. Just to keep it going, one man, one idea, dare the entire Jamaica to care. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to do any more introductions. Right now, when I saw him, I just wanted to go under the sea.
Never a dull moment with Jackie boy, I tell you. Well, I think the order of the day, and a motto that we at Shaggy and Friends have kind of just run by is full transparency, you know? And that is what we're about. First, I want to thank just every sponsor, everybody who shared in the dream with us and made it happen, you know? BNS, of course, Wisinko, they were the first two that really came on board and came on heavy and has pretty much stayed with us throughout the whole thing. And I really, really appreciate just the support of everybody who come out and just kind of hang with us. To the doctors and the nurses who, that story they tell me a little while, I, uh, yeah, this is reality. You know what I'm saying? Now we might sit down and talk about all kind of things, but you can't move it from what really it is about, children. It's just it. And you know, as Mr. Benjamin said, every parent that come in here thinks that for them kid is the only child that is there. And you see this over and over. Since I started the Shaggy and Friends thing, if you see my DM, if you see my DM on my phone, every person that come here and have a hard time or something wrong happened to them kids already, them come into my DM, them send the picture of the picnic, they send the name, and then halfway through the whole like them cuss me out, right? And then on the end part tell me what me need for do. And this happens over and over. It's just part of the whole situation. And this is just reality. You know, what you just described is just the reality of what it is. I think the first thing what I love to do at this point is get down to the transparency message right now. There's been concerns of whether or not these funds that we earmarked for the ICU. You have to remember that the ICU, when we did the last concert, it says ICU at Shaggy and Friends for the ICU. I had this idea that since we only have 5 beds in the ICU for the whole of Jamaica, maybe we can increase it to 10. And we set up a goal and we made 100 million. But let's face it, $100 million not going to be the ICU. One bed is $150,000 for one bed. You need five of them. See it upwards of, right? And then on top of that, we have to get building. You have to get the building done. So I'm thinking about three times that. So we have enough money there was me to actually keep another concert, right? Or do other fundraising here and there just to see how we can make this happen. Um, Halfway through the whole thing, I think Rebecca called me and said, "Hey, we have a big bed problem right now because of dengue and all of that." And I said to her, "Why I never keep Shaggy and Friends this year, you know? Because I have so much things going on." I say, "Yo, I think I'm going to give my Little Mermaid salary towards getting some beds, you know?" Which is what I said to her. Okay. And she said, "Okay, fine." She was calling to a meeting after that. I think we had a call from a reporter from the Daily Gleaner. And she had some concerns about money not being turned over, which kind of shocked me because we really never used to turn over money. That's not really how we operated. And about equipment not being serviced and stuff like that. So I said, well, I figured this would just take a conversation. Rebecca went back and spoke to the CEO of the hospital and the chairman and the SMO. And, they said they don't know anything about this. So anyway, they went ahead and had a meeting. Rebecca called me back and said, "Hey, look like you just buying beds alone for this thing not going to work because them don't have nowhere to put the bed. So them going to need a building." She says, the chairman, Mr. Benjamin, told her that, say, "Hey, listen, we have a plan. The plan is to actually partner with Wicom, West Indies Home Contractor, and a few others, and they have a plan of about 150 million to build a facility that hosts bed, which Mr. Benjamin pretty much just spoke about. So 150 million, they would need our 100 million to do it." I said to RCM, I said, hey, if that's it, but we have to do it publicly because it's a charity, and that's not how charity run. So at the end of the day, when charity is being run, if we earmark something for ICU, we can't just take it and just buy beds up. We have to do it publicly, whether through a statement, which Mr. Benjamin had suggested we did. We actually did up a statement and do it. By that time, well, you can imagine how Sunday morning I get a call from my publicist while I was in LA telling me that they spoke to the Disney publicist and I need to explain this $100 million. Because $100 million, it never said Jamaican. And if you read the article where it say, "Me hold $100 million back from you," you think it ain't in any currency? Which led me into a meeting with them. Lucky enough, I explained myself, and I had great relationship, and they had great faith in me. But this article came out conveniently 3 days before The Little Mermaid aired. So you can imagine how that affected not just the brand, but my relationship in moving forward in the business that I'm doing. So I had to kind of bring myself back, and Rebecca came up to LA with me, and I said, "Hey, let's just calm down, breathe easy. Let me get through this." So forgive me for not answering as promptly to the article as you would have liked, but I'm doing a live television show, and I am trying to kind of learn a song when I don't know it's not my song. The man tell me say it live, and when I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the head of Disney and the head of MGM and the head of this and the head of that, that's got a little bit of pressure. So I told her when she came, I said, "I don't want to hear no more Shaggy and Friends. Let me just focus on this." Anyway, we did it, and we're successful, and now it's time to get back to what this is about. Because we earmarked it for that, the main thing, you have to understand this. We had a letter that came to us from, and I'm talking full transparency here, that's what I'm saying, from the ministry that called us to come in and have a conversation about how the money that we've collected and how we should spend it or whatever it is. That was the gist of the letter. I found that illustration. Now, copied on the letter was myself, Sharon Burke, and Rebecca. I was overseas. And in fairness, I did not answer the email because I figure I said them of it because me over here. So, in their defense now, they normally don't get letters from the ministry. How they deal with the ministry is through the hospital. That's period. This is the first time we get letters from the ministry itself because let me explain something to you. When we started Shaggy and Friends, the first meeting we had in my little living room there, so I think William was there a lot. When we had all the sponsors, it was clear. Now remember, 10 years before that, or 9 years before that, I used to just take my own money and just deal with it. Call Dr. Ennis and say, tell me what you want, my youth. And him say, boy, yes, I want this machine and I want that. And I cut him a check and him deal with it. Now it's a charity situation, and we're doing this thing. All the sponsors made it clear to me at that point. Say, Shaggy, we will come on board for this, but we do not want to involve government. That was what they said. So we said, no, at this point, then, all right, then, well, we will buy the equipment, then, and we will handle the money. No, we had no intention of doing this. Right? Yes, and all the time. We never be, we do just want to make some money from our concert, give the hospital, and then go to them thing. But because the sponsor says, and they were very adamant about that, we had to now find ourselves doing bigger work. No, this is a mom and pop thing situation. I don't know nothing about no foundation. I never even planned to do the foundation. I come, I see something, and I just say, boy, make us say, oh, we can fix it. It's William Mafood now look at me and say, boy, Shaggy, you really can't do it, so you know. I know you used to just give to the hospital and you have to set up a foundation. I said, foundation? He say, yes. Obviously, he has had some experience in that field, being that his family did food for the poor. So I said, all right then, William, show we how to do it. And we went ahead and we created what is now the Shaggy Make a Difference Foundation. Now, in fairness, when you do a foundation, you're supposed to have treasurer, secretary, what you call it, president, chairman, all of them, a whole board. But we're a mom and pop situation. When I figure say I have so much people, I have to pay all of them people. I know I put a whole lot of money I take it from the picnic if I pay them people. We're just doing a hospital. It can't that hard. Rebecca, we are going to just buy the equipment them. You are going to carry them in. See, you are going to monitor it with the hospital. When you need it to get repair, you call them call me. Why a couple equipment broke down and I want me, you can? Right? And she do a like audit every 2 years, and bam, 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 fix it. Not brain surgery. It's that easy, you know? So as you go along, we find ourselves in this situation where now this is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And like Mr. Benjamin said, Bustamante is like a bucket with about 500 holes. No matter how much you full it, it not going to stop. It's not going full. It just come like that. But we were committed to it, and we wanted to go ahead with it. This year was a little bit difficult for me because it was another year now that we're coming up on another concert. I wanted to do another concert. We planned on doing it. But the schedule was so rough with the tour from UB40 and Little Mermaid yesterday. I literally came in this morning from Disney in Orlando shooting the ABC Christmas special, which, by the way, will be all reggae for the first time. Sting and I shot that, came back here and doing this. But so I was really kind of sad that I couldn't do it. And there are many reasons. It's not just because I was busy. Part of the reason why we couldn't do it was because we just didn't have a venue. You know, we were at Jamaica House for years, and the concert has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the bigger the concert gets, the harder it is to maneuver people and traffic and parking. So one of the problems we have was trying to get that East Lawn. Was it the East Lawn? the east lawn of King's House. Without the east lawn, it's chaos for Shaggy and friends. But we had a little bit of an issue with the now sitting Governor General, who really didn't want us to use the east lawn. We went back and forth for years upon years. I've had everybody straight up to, the former Prime Minister, everybody that I could think of to have to talk to him. Last year, uh, with a lot of back and forth, him finally kind of cave and gave us the parking lot. So we figured that we're good now. We can stage another one again. He sent me a letter pretty much saying, don't ask him about that parking lot again. Period. The letter is here. I'm willing to give it to you. And so at that point, I said to myself, you know, Rebecca, we could carry go stadium now. Hey, we go a Buju concert and Buju concert, ram! And it's all Jamaicans that came out to support him. I was so moved by it. I was like, yo, this wicked. Hey, that little thing where we have where we depend on foreign artists all the while, Buju just erase that for me. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, yo, we can do a whole campaign. We go back and we sit down with the team and we say, we do a thing called Jamaicans for Jamaica. We do a big thing in at the stadium. All Jamaican act. We make this happen. And that was the plan that I had coming up, that after all of this, maybe the top of the year, or Easter, March, I'd have to check Sharon for the date because she had a date person. That would keep these massive things on go. So, me just telling you all of this is just full transparency for me. Okay, everything that I just want to address it all and just let you know. Right? Now, we have the money. We have what is it that we have from Scotiabank? Yeah, I would love to show that. If them can show that for me. So this is us letting you know that that money that is from them, the money has been in the account. We never touch the money, we never move with the money, we never carry it away. The money has been there the whole time. It's earmarked for an ICU. We will be turning it over to the Bustamante Hospital for Children to do this new project with Dr. Kenny Benjamin and the hospital. Oh, I must read it. My whole banana glass. Hold on, some glasses here.
We hereby certify that the balance at credit of Jamaican dollar account number 80. Okay. Held at the Scotiabank Center branch as at November the 11th, 2019 is $112,205,019.06. Please note that this is an advice only and is non-negotiable. The account in the name of Shaggy and Friends has been in operation since January 2014. Signed, Mark Mothersill, Senior Operations Officer, Lyric Gordon, Manager Business Banking. Thank you, Scotiabank.
No, it's two things have happened. I have no problem turning over the full amount to you, to be honest with you. But what we normally do, because of concerts, and we always, when we're planning concert, we always keep a little stipend to help us to go for the next concert down the line. I try to get everything from sponsors normally, but let me tell you, from the minute that we started, we might have used to get some sponsorship for half the money. Some people give you things for free, but once we start make them kind of money, sponsorship not really come that way there again. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the half, you get some full money. Sometimes them all mark it up more than with a regular man. Suppliers, I'm stand corrected. You know what I mean? So we have to keep a little thing normally to say. Now, in moving forward, I have to really think about this with my team. I'm going to sit down with William, who has been an amazing advisor to me, Rebecca, Jackie, Sharon, just my core team, and really figure out how we move forward from this part, because this was disheartening. Something happened to me a little while. Rebecca was asking me why I was in a bad move coming home. My little 9-year-old daughter come to me and said, Daddy, I know where you're going to meet now to tell them that you didn't steal the money. that lick me hard. That's my 9-year-old. So when I write on the paper them and I say, no, look at things them, be very careful on to do them. All right? And it's not that we didn't have a conversation with you people before. We spoke before the article was out. Right? Be careful. And let's not take this from what it is. Whatever on the tabloid and on the deflection and wherever go on and on the politics have nothing to do with the children of Jamaica. Understand? The children of Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, members.
You know, it's just water under the bridge for me, and I don't really want to go that direction. I'm just saying, let's focus on what it is. The children of Jamaica is what it is. Bustamante is what it is. You know, getting these beds and fixing whatever problem is what it is. That's what it's about.
Are you now contemplating the future? One of the things you mentioned is that you're going to meet with your team now and decide how you move forward. Is it so decided that you're now contemplating the future, Shaggy and friends?
We have to, because if it's going to have, you're looking at my livelihood at this point. If the media is going to print things like this in a manner like this, and it affects my brand, you have to remember now, my brand is not just local. So when you say something, it goes global. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in a lot of things that I'm doing right now that, you know, that really attacks my credibility. You know what I mean? So we have to sit down and really go through, you know, listen, the good thing is that everybody that we're dealing with that within this, we have Bustamante at heart. And we have to just make the right decision. That makes sense for us and makes sense for our brand moving forward.
One of the things you mentioned was the pressures from government entities in terms of the help to get venues and whatever the processes that you have to go through and the monies that you have to pay. And you were saying that they should remember that all of this is a charity. How disheartening is that? One of the things you mentioned is that even the Governor General himself said, look, we're not getting the parking lots. It's almost like constant hurdles and roadblocks to host an event, to give back. How does that make you feel?
It's constant hurdles from day one. It's not nothing we're not used to. And I wasn't worried about the Governor General not giving me a parking lot. Then I was going to find another way. You know what I mean? I found it in trying to get the stadium, and that was where my head is. You know, when one door closed, another one open. You know what I mean? You have to just stay positive and keep it moving.
And then with the minister writing and calling it before a meeting, as you mentioned just now, was that almost the straw that broke the camel's back?
No, it's not a straw that broke the camel's back. I never have a problem with them writing. And, you know, them right. It's just that we have never had it. So it's really my apology to them for not answering it, because really and truly we just never normally get from them. We normally speak to the ministry through the hospital. So when that came, I was like, all right, you know, taking a bath. And plus, I kind of have an open door policy with the minister. You know, you pick up your phone and call me if something is wrong. You know what I mean? So that is how it is. So it wasn't really a jab at him in that sense. It was really just that, hey, I'm explaining to you why that letter came in and why we didn't respond, because we just normally never do it like that. You know what I mean? We just normally never turn money over. We always get a needs list and we always buy equipment. That's just how we always operate.
Way forward from here, from this situation right now.
I don't know. We have to have some meeting. Like, you know, I can tell you this. We will always support Bustamante. I supported it 9 years before, 10 years before, with Dr. Ennis, out of pocket. I have no problem going back to that if I have to. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we could sit down with everybody and just kind of figure out, because our hearts is in the right place.
For one parent, for one single parent, sorry for you know, go ahead. If anybody ever
I would like to ask about what you just mentioned, the ABC Reggae Special. Is there any more details you can give about that at this point?
We're partnered with Disney and ABC, and Sting and I are opening the ABC special. We're doing the ABC Christmas special. Part of it will be aired on Thanksgiving in America, and the other part will be aired in Christmas. We did probably about 5-6 songs. They're all reggae and dancehall. It's the first time Disney has ever done that. It's the first time ABC has done that, and it's a really big push towards just the culture and the music itself, and you know, we really pushed for it, and they came on board with the success of Little Mermaid, of course, being number one, and so, you know, they really took us in.
And it will just be you and Steve?
It would be me and no. There's tons of artists on it. They're doing it, but Sting and I, we're doing majority of it.
we are the opening acts for it also, and it is quite a spectacle. It's amazing.
Do you think the hospital was come this way
No, because if the hospital is asked something by the media, they should answer it. You know.
Also said that the Shaggy Foundation hasn't yet turned over the money, which you're saying doesn't usually happen.
Right. According to the paper, that's what they said. That they didn't turn over, and by right we don't do it. You know what I mean? So if you ask the question if the money turn over, you gotta tell them no. You never ask him why it not turn over. Wait, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point we just never normally do that. So I'm not mad at anybody. This is not a anger situation. I'm a little disappointed. You know what I mean? But I can't go through it with anger because at the end of the day, this is still where my heart is, and this is even when I deal with, I get into so much heated arguments with sponsors and suppliers. I don't think somebody understands that this is sometimes even more important to me than music. You know what I say? Because I've lived this with them. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just have to say, let me sit down with people, with my team, and just kind of see if we can move forward.
Was there any moment where you say, forget this and forget the show with all of this thing happening?
Of course you're going to go through emotions like that, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm around...
How long did that last?
I can't even remember. I can't recall that way. But to be honest with you, I sat with, you know, it's just great people around me, you know what I mean? Rebecca, Sharon, William, you know what I mean? And they are all for helping and doing this. And, you know, I could never ever in a million years try to let them down like that. That's just not my character, you know what I mean? But, you know, something like this shake you up in our way, so you have to just like, yeah, you know?
When we spoke a few months ago, you said no show, but you'll be doing a series of events. Nothing big for 2020.
Well, I just explained to you why we couldn't do the show.
Right.
The show. I mean, we have obstacles why I can't get the show done.
You said
you know
there'll
what I
be
mean?
a series of smaller events. Anything?
I was thinking about, well, there are a couple other things. There are little deals that I'm doing here and there, you know, that I could basically put part proceeds to. You know, we could keep a smaller situation, you know what I mean, get artists, instead of, you know, charge huge plate monies, you know, much like how most charities do. And I'm doing this thing, Rainforest. One of them ticket is like probably $30,000 US. Smaller, easier to deal with, people spending money. You know, it was also thought of doing something overseas. Stinger actually, and a couple of people says, yeah, they would assist us in trying to get something like that going on. So there's so many ideas that was floating around, you know what I mean, to see how it can do. But the main thing, we just couldn't get it happening this year. And you know, when the whole thing came up, I said, yeah, maybe I just put the mermaid money to it. And
can you say how much the mermaid money?
No, I'm not going to tell you that.
Quick, yeah, on Little Mermaid, that red outfit has kind of generated a life of its own.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. No claws.
You know, we had a hairpiece first. We had eyes, glasses. We had claws. I had actually posted the claws on my Instagram. And in rehearsal, going through, and we did a couple of takes, and you know, somebody high up in Disney decided that, nah, take a look. And they came to me and they just said, the director, Amish, looked at me and said, hey, I want that Shaggy thing. He's like, I don't want to cover your eyes, I want to cover your ears, I want Shaggy, I want that big smile, and I want you to go out there, and I want that Shaggy thing.
And the experience
And
was?
I just went ahead and did my best. I mean, it's nerve-wracking because, especially the first song was very nervous. I don't get nervous for things, but it was tough. It was the first time I'm doing that. I've never done anything theater like this. And I figure if I go and jump off of the cliff, might as well I jump off of it with Disney. Because, you know, they're the best at it, you know what I mean? So I have to run with it.